G'day, Geoff Lewis here from Seriously Series, and can't believe it, we're up to part 9 of this series. The engine dramas of the Land Rover Series 3, and you will not believe the stuff that has been found and the latest developments that have occurred with this motor. So as I always say, grab yourself a brew of something slightly stronger, forget that today because you're simply just going to spill it. Forget all that. But sit down, relax, and get ready for a tale with more drama in it than Coronation Street, Home and Away, and Neighbours, so I'm told. You're just not going to believe it. You're just not. So as you can see, the motor's actually in the Series 3, and I received the motor at the end of last year, just prior to Christmas, and thanks to a good friend of mine, Trevor, we spent many hours into the night actually putting the motor in, and over the last 6 weeks I've been basically working on getting this all set up again. Took 18 months for me to get the motor rebuilt for a third time, just as a bit of a recap for some of you who've jumped in on this channel in this series. The first 2 times it was rebuilt by a particular company here in Western Australia, which will continue to remain nameless. But what they did to the motor is shameful. I'm going to try and keep it PG, and I will, and I'm going to try and not rant like other people do on YouTube. I'm not here for therapy's sake. I'm here to ensure that other people don't go through these same dramas. So it's been a while, so just a quick recap. So this motor ended up burning 20 litres of oil in 5,000 kilometres. I sent it back to the company. They rebuilt it which took them about 8 months. I then put it back in. It then burnt the same amount of oil in about 1,800 kilometres or 2,000 k's. It then ended up blowing a head gasket, and at that point I'd basically had an absolute gutful of dealing with that company. As nice as they were to deal with, I wasn't going to send it back to them a third time because they hadn't found the problem the first time round. Maybe that's me being a bit harsh, but you know, you pay people to do a particular task, and if people get it wrong, that's fine, but you just got to put your hands up and admit it and be a bit sorry about it. So I was quite annoyed by that. I then was going to do the full rebuild myself, and I'm just too busy doing other stuff, and I just wanted it sorted out. So I looked at a local company here in Kalgoorlie, and to their credit they took it on, which was obviously quite big of them to do that. It had failed twice. It was now going to be rebuilt for a third time. It did take 18 months for it to get rebuilt, but nevertheless they've done a really, really good job on the motor itself. The stuff that was found is just absolutely catastrophic, and the highlights of it is the fact that the cam timing was out by 20 degrees, which caused the motor to basically, even getting the static timing right, the fuel was getting detonated at the wrong point of the piston cycle, and basically was washing all the oil out of the piston rings and causing them to prematurely wear. The block itself was bored incorrectly, with the piston rings being out of spec by about 10th thou, which meant the motor just didn't have the compression that it required. It got even worse. New developments have found that to the back of the motor we have the rear main seal, which many of you will know is a 2-piece system, and it has 2 plates on it that actually retain the seal in the actual block itself. There's 8 bolts that are in there. Out of those 8 bolts, only 4 were found to actually be in there to hold these plates in place, and out of those 4 bolts, 1 or 2 of those was actually snapped and left in there. What can only be described as the biggest hunk of silicon I've ever seen in my life was also present there too. 2 tubes of Loctite, elastic, gasket goop, whatever you want to call it, was put in there. when it says in the manual, all manuals, even the later Series 3 ones, put a smear of it, but not 2 tubes worth. There was so much silicon in there that it actually penetrated through the rear main seal and was actually present inside the crankcase of the motor. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that silicon can actually break down, go into the oil, and then can actually go through the motor and block up oil galleries, meaning that the oil won't get to the particular parts in the motor, and therefore the motor's going to fail, isn't it? That it is. So I've seen some dodgy stuff in my time, and I've had to do a few, quite a few bush mechanic tricks to get myself home, but never ever would I charge good money for doing that kind of work. That's just, for me, it's inconceivable. End of rant. So that was found. I got the distributor rebuilt because the new ones are a bit hit and miss. Got that rebuilt by a reputable company in Victoria. That cost me $400. To the credit to the mechanic who's done this rebuild, he found that all the parts inside that distributor were not even hand tight. So that distributor at some point would have basically imploded or exploded and completely destroyed itself, inadvertently leaving me high and dry out in the middle of nowhere. So, that you just can't, words can't describe how frustrating it is, but it gets worse. I bought, and when I buy parts, I buy the best quality parts I can find. I'll get old new stock if I can, and I want my vehicles to be as, pardon me, as good and as reliable as they possibly can. You want the best chance of doing something right, and you don't want to have to do things twice. So I bought an oil pump, a new old stock oil pump for this motor. A genuine Land Rover one, $550 it cost, plus shipping from the UK. Got the mechanic to put it in. I felt good, I felt confident. We're on to a winner, aren't we, guys and girls? That we are. Now, I've been working on this motor. I've had to reset the carburetor. I've had to do a lot of things that I didn't think I'd have to do. Not to the motor, but just in general. What I found out was that the motor wasn't getting any oil pressure. What could that be? The oil pumps are so simple, aren't they? Yes, they are. And there's not a PCV, there's a pressure relief valve in there. And it's really simple. It's just a piston with a spring and a cap at the end. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. In the manual, it says that that piston can actually jam at certain points if there's a bit of an imperfection in the casting where it runs in and out the cylinder. So I'm like, fair enough. Okay, it is old new stock. It's probably been sitting on the shelf for a few years. I'll take the sump off, drain the oil out, and I'll check the pressure relief valve. So that's exactly what I did. On inspection, the valve looked fine. I put a bit of extra oil in there just to make it work a bit easier. Everything looked okay. Under the car I go again, put the oil pump back on, put the sump back on. Another day, not wasted, but another day closer to finding what the culprit was. Then I turn the motor over, no oil pressure. Next day I come back into the shed again, I take the sump off, I take the oil pump out, and while the oil's draining out of this motor, prior to that, I'm taking apart the old oil pump that was originally in it, because I knew that worked. I had a look at it, it looked okay, all the tolerances were okay, that is specified in the manual. And don't worry, guys and girls, I'm getting to the pivotal point of this story. So what did I do? So I took the sump off, took the new oil pump out of this motor, took it over to my workbench, and I said, look, I'm just going to put the old one in because I know that works. But then curiosity got the better of me, and I'm like, let's have a look at the new oil pump. Let's have a look at what might be inside there, because it's got to be something simple, doesn't it? That it does. It's just 2 gears in there and a shaft. So I undo the 4 bolts. I tap very, very carefully and take the top of the housing off. And I look inside. What do you think is in there? Nothing. Nothing. There's no gears, nothing. It's got a pressure relief valve assembly and everything in it, but it's got nothing in the original, genuine, Land Rover made, Land Rover spec, old new stock, the best you can get, $550 worth. There is no internal components. It's just a lump of cast iron. Now, the sad part about that is because it's so simple, and you just presume when you buy a product like this camera that I'm talking to you on, that it has all the internal components in it. It works. You buy a product like a spanner, and this one here is a 5/8, so you figure that's going to fit a 5/8 bolt, isn't it? Or a 5/8 nut, isn't it? Yeah. You don't go out and get your vernier calipers and check it and make sure it's all right, or rebuild your entire camera or pull your TV apart to see if there's any electronics in it, do you? No. It's a complete unit. So when you buy a complete unit, and I'm probably going to get shot for this and stabbed for this, but I don't care. I'm way beyond that. When you buy a complete unit, you put it in and you expect it to work. And that's exactly what I did. So I put it in. Had fired the motor a couple of times just to get everything moving. But in doing that, this damage has been done to the motor. So who knows what's going to happen from here? I might be up for a 4th rebuild because someone, somewhere, decided to remove those gears, and someone decided to advertise it as a complete unit. So, as I said, I'm not out for blood. I'm not out to make anyone's life miserable, but I'm out here to tell you this. Be so jolly well careful with what parts you buy. Never assume, never presume. And I'll tell you what, I just hope this drama is going to end. So I'm going to try and fire it up now in another video. I have got oil pressure. I did put the old oil pump back in, put some of the new parts in it from the other pump. So watch this space. But as I said, I can't make this up. I'm being so careful with this car. But yeah, it's just curveballs left, right and centre. So anyway, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you haven't spilt any condiments over yourself in doing so. And look, I don't need the support, but this vehicle needs your support on Patreon, and we need you to subscribe to this channel. We need to give you a thumbs up, and just while you're there, make my day and give the video a thumbs up, hey? Because I tell you what, this is anything so much more than painful. You've got no idea. And this can jeopardize everything that we're wanting to do moving forward. So, sorry if this was a bit ranty. Sorry if this might have brought a bit of a downer on your day, but yeah, I just can't hide my frustrations. But anyway, the next video will be a little bit more joyful. So have a great week, have a great weekend, have a great day, and I'm going to keep fixing this Landy, and we'll see you in the next one. Catch you then.